I bet you all have heard of this mod called Alex's Caves, right? This mod adds 5 new cave biomes and 35 new mobs to the game, with their own uses, blocks, and items. It also adds a boss, which is the Luxtroctosaurus. But what if I were to tell you that Alex Moboss, aka the creator of this masterpiece, is working on another game-changing update? Alex's Caves will show you what Minecraft's caves and cliffs should have been, once again. Adding the Candy Cavity, the 6th biome to this mod at the moment. I will be telling you everything we know so far. Be sure to check out Alex's Mods Discord server, because he will keep you up to date with the mod's progress. You can either find the cave tablets for the candy cavity inside of cabin structures or in the witch hut chests that Alex added to them. When you've crafted the cave map, you'll be able to spot the candy cavity biome map texture, showing giant chocolate bars, ice cream, cones, and canes. The moment we enter the candy cavity, the atmosphere in the fog turns pink. This biome, along with everything inside, will be edible. When talking about generation features, there's a lot of stuff going on. The whole cave itself seems to be built up with giant layers of cake. On the ceiling there will be ice cream cones just hanging there, as well as frost mints which when hit with a projectile will fall down. When they fall in soda rivers, some sort of explosion will occur. In these rivers, you can also find gummy rings or lifesavers. Smaller blocks like peppermint can be found on the walls and the ground. Sun drops that can create rainbows that go from one to another, which are used as bridges by the inhabitants. There will also be rainbound boots that seem to be made of the same stuff. We'll also have candy cane, cotton candy, and lollipop grass. You can also come across bigger generation features like mountains of ice cream flavors varying from vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry, giant bars of chocolate, cookie shells, and ginormous donuts. Sometimes you can come across giant soda bottles, which are made of sugar glass. The bottles can stand up or might have tipped over and are leaking out the soda. Across the ground of the candy cavity, there's also pads made of candy rock that come in several different colors. These rocks also appear on the donuts as sprinkles, but there's also generation features made of the material, like Jawbreaker geodes and giant lollipops in a ball or flange circular shape. We can also find Lycaroot trees, which there will hopefully and probably be a wood setup. You can come across a giant variant of these trees with a Lyca Witch structure, where normal witches and Lyca Witches live. The Lyca Witch is a very strong mob with several magic abilities. These witches are also the ones who created the candy cavity in the first place. Their abilities look like they're going to be throwing peppermints, controlling other candy mobs, and throwing potions at the moment. In this structure, you can also find a new cauldron, the Conversion Crucible, that if you throw in a specific amount of items of any biome, it will slowly convert the area with a radius of 12 blocks to the chosen biome. The mobs that spawn in that chosen biome will spawn in that radius too. To decide the biome you want to convert the area into, you'll need an item called Biome Candy. Next up, we have the Gingerbread Villages. These villages contain a post with a barrel, several houses, and a small castle. The villages are inhabited by 1 block tall gingerbread men that have tons of different variants. You can also see them open the doors, stand still to look around, wave and pick up items and put candy or whatever inside of these barrels. Maybe this will be a way to trade with them. Next up, we have the other mobs, the Swedish fish, which can come in several colors and live in the soda rivers. These fish get eaten by gummy bears of the same color as them, so blue eats blue, red eats red. Then we have the Gum Beeper, which shoots gumballs and when near its death will explode and let go of tons of gumballs. When killed though, he can drop a few piles of gumballs, which you need 2 of to craft a new special item, the Shotgun. Both the Gum Beeper and Nucleeper can be charged now. The Candy Corn is a new mountable mob that goes very fast, can jump, and has a dash attack that does damage and knockback with its horn. These creatures come in several different variants too. Then we have the Caniac, which can run very fast while propelling his arms like the Snarling, do a leap attack, and attack other candy mobs. In concept art, it was told they would also be able to climb. Caniacs will drop sharpened candy canes. Next we have the Caramel Cube, but we don't know much more info about them, only that they compose the same mechanics as a normal slime, and also that they leave behind a special trail of caramel to slow down the player. And eventually we have the Gummy Worm, which reminds me a lot of the Terraria boss, Eater of Worlds. Just like that boss, the giant mob can leap from place to place, and also goes underground like the Death Worm in Ice and Fire. And finally, we're getting no diabetes effect.